have it. The HVAC system is reinstalled. Spent a lot of time cleaning all the individual parts. Starting on the left here with the heater box. I didn't actually take this apart other than just accessing the heater core from underneath and replacing it. It was leaking, I found out once I removed the old heater core. So I got a new heater core and reinstalled that and removed all of the old foam seals around all these HVAC vents here that kind of press up against the underside of the dash, and then there's one that presses up against the underside of the actual body for, I think, where that would vent out to defrost for the windshield. Once the dash is ready to go back on, I'll actually go in and relay the seals that go in here. They are adhesive, so I didn't want to put them on too early and give them a chance to like unadhese. I think once the adhesive's on there and the dash is pushing against them, there'll be less of a chance they're able to move. So this part is where the AC evaporator is. That's where the coolant comes into and expands and gets really cold, and then the air blows from the blower through this and into the ventilation system for the rest of the car. That is the box that you saw earlier that was just filled with rat and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. So I knew immediately when I saw that I just had to tear every bit of this apart and clean it and refresh it with new parts, because there was no way I was putting that back in the car and going to breathe it. I immediately thought about all the times I was sitting in the car with the AC running and just knowing that the air that was coming through there was just blowing over all that stuff. So moving on from that, there's a new AC evaporator in there. There's also new expansion valve inside there as well. So everything inside the AC system there is brand new and ready to go, fully clean. And then as far as the blower motor goes, I had originally replaced this thermostat when I first bought the car. So this blower motor is really just it's just a fan that blows the cold air through the system this way, or the hot air out of the system from the heater core inside there. The fan that actually spins and blows the air inside the blower motor here, I replaced that completely. I bought a fresh unit, a new motor and a new fan. I couldn't get the fan blades off of the original OEM motor to thoroughly be able to wash it and clean it. So I just thought it best just to replace the entire thing then, because I definitely wanted any of the internal parts that went back in here to be fresh and clean. We also have a fresh new heater water inlet switch here. Replace this as well. So that should all be set up and working. Here's the old heater core. You can see where it actually separated and cracked based by all this corrosion you can see there. The newer heater core was actually thinner than the OEM one. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. I think it's okay, because as long as the outside of the heater core makes a seal that air can't get around, it'll still be efficient. But this one is a lot thicker width-wise this way, I noticed. Here's the old disgusting AC evaporator and the old expansion valve. I didn't try to salvage any of this. I just bought brand new replacement parts. And the two parts that I wasn't able to salvage by cleaning were this blower fan. So I could not get these fan blades, this white plastic part, which are the rotary fan blades, off. They're super filthy, and I didn't want to introduce water here trying to clean them while it's still attached to the motor. So I did find a full replacement unit for this, so that's why that was replaced. These two pieces of styrofoam go inside the evaporator core box, the plastic box for the AC system, and the evaporator core sits in there. And as you can see, these are very specific to the shape of the evaporator core. These were in the bottom filthy rat infested area of the HVAC system, and you cannot buy new ones of these. So these are the old ones. These are filthy and soaked and non-cleanable. So I actually spent some time at a junkyard finding replacement versions of these that I took apart an AC condenser in the junkyard and dug out these styrofoam pieces, kind of confirming that they were indeed in much better shape than mine. To replace all the deteriorated foam seals on the HVAC system, I did measure the width and roughly guessed the height of what I needed and purchased these adhesive foam strips. I believe these are neoprene. These aren't the same exact kind of foam. But the width-wise, they fit the channels that you saw me applying there around the heater core and around the AC condenser box. These worked really well. I don't think the adhesive is excellent on these, so if I was to do this again, I'd probably try to source, this is, I think, like an off-brand brand. I would probably try to source one that was a 3M brand adhesive material. But it worked pretty well. I stuck them on, and then they immediately get sandwiched together when the units get put together. So I think these will hold and will make a good seal. And for the tops of the HVAC units that kind of press seal against the underside of the dash, I'm using this. This is like a D-channel foam insulation strip with some 3M adhesive on the bottom. I actually got, I saw CRX Seth using this in one of his videos, and I thought it might be a good solution for me as well. So far, this has worked really well, and that's what I'm going to be putting on the top of the outlets of the heater system and the AC system that are going to seal up the vents when the dash goes back on. You probably saw me using some of this thicker neoprene adhesive on fixing the blend door. So the blend door is actually the door that lets air pass through different parts of the AC system. So, for example, this is a blend door here that allows the air from the outside vents that sit up here into the system as a pass-through rather than a recirculation. So when you actually switch your AC from recirculation to vent, this vent is opening up and allowing air to go through there. So they're called blend doors, and there's a couple of different baffles between the different parts from the blower to the AC to the heater that kind of control the flow of air. So I think everything in the engine bay is kind of buttoned up as far as I want to take it right now before dropping the motor back in. So hopefully in the next video, we'll actually get the motor reinstalled, mounted up on those Hasport motor mounts, and then we can start putting back in the other stuff like the radiator, the air intake system, and the AC system. Eventually we'll have to go back in as well.